So you guys know that I have been on the prowl for some really good skin tone markers. So I decided to order the Arteza skin tone set, and I wanted to give it a try and really see if these markers would really give me what I need in a skin tone set. So let's get into it. What I will let you know is that when it comes, the packaging I thought was very cute, very nice. It has an expensive kind of packaging, if you ask me, in my opinion. They do have on the back different swatches of all of the markers, but of course, it's always good to swatch them yourself. You have 3 rows of markers, and as I was looking at each one, I was getting so giddy. I love the shape of the markers. It has a triangular shape to them, and these will be the first markers that I've ever had that are shaped like that. So I did like them. They come with a chisel, and it comes with the bullet nib. What I will say is that their bullet nib compared to the Ahuhu bullet nib, it's a bit more pointy. It does come to a very fine end. And so that was something that was a bit different. But overall, I love the shape of the markers. I love the feel of the markers. I was definitely, impressed so far. As you can see here, you have 3 rows of glorious skin tone markers. And I want to say these were 32 on Amazon. And I think Ahuhu's were 30 as well for 24. You get 36 in this set. Let's say that. So immediately as I was swatching them, I was literally dancing in my seat, y'all, because I was already loving some of the colors, because we can now put light tones in this set. I was so excited about that. And then also a lot of the browns, in my opinion, were so creamy and so nice. And I was just loving them. What I am showing you as well is that now I will say some of the tops don't match the swatches. Okay. Some of them don't. And so that was probably the only thing that I sort of was not liking, is that some of the top of the markers that's supposed to be showing you the shade is a bit darker, or I think it was always darker. I don't know if some of them were a little brighter, and that could probably throw you off. But with alcohol markers, I just feel like you should always make you a swatch list of all of your markers, because a lot of times the tops just don't they just don't match. But listen, that is completely small to the wonderful colors that were in this set. I was very excited. I just loved the range that were in them. And then they had a few linen greens and grays, and I even loved those colors as well, because those greens and those grays are perfect for using for shading and undertones, and they were not so severe. I did a quick blending test just to sort of blend a few colors together, and I wanted to do one with the lighter shades, and they blended beautifully. They just blended very smoothly, and just, y'all, I was just falling in love with these markers. Like, I will not lie. I was definitely pleased, and I just feel like they were worth every bit of my money. When I blended the darker skinned, the darker skin tones, the browns, I sort of was picking like random ones and not really paying attention. So this one is probably not that good of an example, but at the same time, the blending is really, really good. And I'm sure if I had found, picked my markers a bit better, then it would have looked a little better. But this was just a quick test just to see how the blending was, just to show you guys how good that blending is. So the tip of the bullet nib, you guys, I will tell you, it's very pointy, and it was definitely something unfamiliar to me because, of course, I'm used to using the Ahuhu bullet nib, and it's a bit softer, and so in my opinion, it's a little easier to use for blending. And as I use these, when I use the top, I definitely had to like use it like sort of sideways. I'm not a big fan of the bullet nib on these markers. So this first picture that I'm using, and guys, I drew her over and over, so she's gonna look different with each shade that we go to. And later on in the video, you will see me X out the last video because I feel like it reminded me of clones in a way where every time I was cloning her, she just got a little different until the last clone she was just looking a little funky. So I just couldn't use her. That's what happened. So as I'm blending for the fair skin, everything was blending well. I was also basically getting familiar with these markers on camera, and I'm definitely going to practice with them a bit more to really learn which colors and which shades work for me. But because I still wanted to do a demonstration, I had to just, figure out as I was going with these markers of what shades to put together. But I was loving how this lighter shade came out. Everything was just working very seamlessly. There are, I feel like, a good amount of pinks and blushes that can be used, enough browns. And I will admit that I probably would have wanted maybe 1 or 2 more markers for lighter shades, but they do have good lighter shade colors. So let that be known, let that be said. For the shading on her, I used, let me say this, I am so excited because I've never done it and I feel like it is so advanced. I used a green that is in this set to do my shading on her, and it worked beautifully. And for me, when I did the swatching and I saw the greens that they had in this set, they were not so severe. None of them were like a lime green or like this bright green that I just couldn't understand why it's in a skin tone set, like the one that's in the Ahuhu set. This one I could more so understand because it gives you like a gray green. And so I definitely used it on her. And y'all, I felt like a professional artist because I'm using a color that isn't just, of course, of brown or tan or beige, to use for my shading. Or, we always use like a purple or like a brown when we're doing like shadows. But no, I use this to get the shading in her face. So I felt like a boss. Okay. Like I felt like I knew what I was doing, because I knew that if I probably will never use that green that's in the Ahuhu on a skin tone because I don't understand it. I don't get it because it's so green. But here, I just feel like this looked so good. I made her a brunette and I loved how her hair came out. There are so many gorgeous browns that can be used. On my next clone here, we're going to call her Samantha. I decided to use like a brighter brown because I was trying to go for like maybe a caramel complexion, but this brown turned out to be a little orange for me. And it's possibly not one I probably would use for a skin tone, and I will say it was not that bad, but it was just a bit too orangey for me. And then I went ahead and I did the third clone, and I was going to definitely do a dark skin tone on her. And I wanted to do one that was very dark to see, because I have definitely been looking for skin tone markers that I can use that are very, very dark to create some really good, gorgeous chocolate skin. So I decided on my brown skin, when I would try to add like a little bit of blush, just, right up on, just giving the cheeks a little color. It did not work out with the color that I used. I believe in person, when I was looking at it, I could more so see it, but I can't really see it right here in the video. It's not really showing up, but, you know, I'm sure if I play around a bit more, I'll find the colors that more so go together. I really just was so excited to do this video. As soon as they came, I picked them up, took them out. And, I was playing around with a few of them, of course, before, just to give them, just to fill them out. But I definitely want to really just study the colors and really play with them to really place ones together that I feel are best together, so that I can have my sets that I can use. I'm so excited, y'all. Like, I'm so excited. And I believe this is Arteza or Arteza. I have heard it said so many different ways. But I say Arteza and Arteza. I love your markers. I love your skin tone markers. Please get a better bullet nib. But other than that, these are everything. If these were brush nibs, I think I would have had a marker-gasm. Okay? Oh my gosh. If these were brush tips, ooh, I would have died. I used a reddish brown on my dark skin baby here, and I loved how her skin came out. I was so excited because for the first time, my darker skin tone came out so good, and I love the reddish hair on her. I decided to make my brighter clone, Samantha. I decided to make her a blonde because I wanted to see how good of a blonde I could get out of the colors, because they have colors that work perfectly for it. And listen, honey, her hair came out bomb. This blonde is everything. I loved it, and I was able just to throw a few colors together, and it just came out everything. I was so excited. Like, everything I was pleased with, aside from the bullet nibs, and that is something so small. I am so excited to have some markers that I can use, and in my opinion, they were worth the $32 that I spent on them. I will say that for 36 markers for 32, these are definitely what I would tell you to buy over the Ahuhu skin tone set. That is $30. I will tell you, just spend that extra $2 or $3 to get these, because they're worth it, guys. They're worth it. They're gonna give you what you're looking for. In my opinion, I really do say that. This is an honest opinion. Go with Arteza. That's all I'm gonna tell you, or Arteza. Whichever way it goes, these are the ones to go with. All right, y'all. So I am done talking. I am done reviewing. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, tell a friend. I want to thank and say hello to every new subscriber that has joined our YouTube family. Just be sure to share with a friend, tell a friend to tell another friend about Jinx the Creative on YouTube. And I will see you guys in the next video.
West Coast village, what? West Coast.